Okay, everybody, welcome back to Anime Breakfast. Today's episode is sort of a hybrid between a free comic book day and May the 4th, which is Star Wars Day. So I just want to start off by saying I was never really a huge comic book fan, but I did read Watchmen about 10 years ago. My wife took a class in university and had the book, so I ended up reading it. And then while in university, trying to kill time, I went into the school library, the school bookstore, and I came across Mouse, which is spelled Maus, and that caught my attention, and maybe a few years later I ended up buying it and reading it, and I thought that was a riveting story. And so I was always fascinated with pictures and words put together to create an art form. So it wasn't a new concept for me, and as a kid, I did buy a few comic books at like the flea market, but never read them, never got very deep into them until maybe a few months ago, actually. So a few months ago, I started reading The Last Ronin, and then literally today, I finished reading part 2 of the Power Ranger Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover. This is part 1, and then I just finished reading part 2 today. So, and I've been playing Power Rangers lately, so I've been getting deep into Ninja Turtles and Power Ranger stuff right now. And this is why when I went to Gotham Central Comics, I picked up this Power Rangers Prime comic book. So they were allowing 6 free comic books on May the 4th. I meant to go yesterday, but I was working, couldn't make it over there. But almost serendipitously, I was driving home, made a wrong turn, and ended up heading towards a game store that I frequent, and it happens to be next to the Gotham Central Comics. So I went to check out the game store. I picked up this Donkey Kong 2 for $15, and then I stopped by the comic book store hoping that the sequel to The Last Ronin had arrived, because I went there 2 weeks ago, and the owner placed an order, but I don't believe it showed up yet, so still waiting on that, but that's fine. So this second one is Street Fighter versus Rival Schools. And things happen in a funny way. You want to start getting into comics, and comic books find their way to you, funny enough. I don't know if you guys remember Gargoyles. This was a hit show back in the 90s that I liked watching. And then we have Godzilla, the New Heroes. So, on the topic of May the 4th, or Star Wars Day, I can't say I was very big into Star Wars, but I did watch the first 3 films, the first trilogy, on VHS, and I think that was before they edited the ending and added, the new ending to it. But I did play or watch my friend play this game growing up, Return of the Jedi, for the Super Nintendo, and I have fond memories of this game growing up. And then, because I was struggling to find content for Star Wars Day, I thought, how can I not contribute something? So this was a mini figure which came in a bar of soap, and I want to say I was a teenager, so this is maybe the 2000s. So you had this, and I also had a Darth Vader one, which I kept in the bar of soap, but over time it was in a drawer, and it just the what's it called, the box it came in, or the plastic it came in, started to break, and then the soap started to crumble, and then it just started going all over the place. Eventually I just threw it out. I wish I had kept it, or at least washed the Darth Vader figure out of it. But yeah, that's too bad. But on the topic of Star Wars, again, I remember going to the theater to watch Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. Those movies were huge in the 2000s. And although I wasn't like a big fan of Star Wars, I was more like a Lord of the Rings guy. I did go watch those movies, and they were really good movies. And it was hard not to be a fan of Jar Jar Binks and the dark side, like the Sith Lord and all that. So this is Mega Man. If you've been following my channel, I was a big Mega Man X fan. It was probably one of the most played games for the Super Nintendo that my friend had, and I watched him play it a lot. And then eventually I bought it not too long ago, and I think it came on the classic Super Nintendo, and I played that. I still haven't beat the boss, but I'm getting there. So this is Star Wars comic book, which I intend on reading. But it's funny that, I started off not having any Star Wars content, and then, I remembered I had all this stuff, and, yeah. This is all from Free Comic Book Day, so they allowed 6. I picked up 6. And a lot of them are things that I watched in my childhood, so be interesting to read them. But yeah, may the force be with you, everyone. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button. Please leave a comment. Breakfast is served. Maybe I'll play a little bit of this tonight to celebrate.